I've fallen for the lie. I kneel every time. I've paid my dues with time. They're never on our side. What we know as owning is dead. Subscription for my heart instead. The last mile to run, the final hell to climb. So many speakers, but who will fight? Stand with me, brothers, we're flesh and blood, the last of our kind. The stripping of our souls, a monthly charge for love, the loneliness of now. What we know as death is gone. My conscience in the clouds, to run, the final hill to climb. So many speakers, but who will fight? Stand with me, brothers, we're flesh and blood, the last of our kind. Atomized people everywhere, but in your eyes there's nothing to compare. You're the last thing that's real in my life. So run with me and leave these fools behind. The last mile to run, the final hell to climb. So many speakers, but who will fight? Stand with me, brothers, we're flesh and blood, the last of our kind. The last mile to run, the final hell to climb. So many speakers, but who will fight? Stand with me, brothers, we're flesh and blood, the last of our kind. That's why I came with you, left it all behind, to be the only things that's real. You.
It costs too much. It costs too much. gave it all. But it cost too much. Every day I'm a slave to corporate men on higher pay. Just wanna sit and game after another hard day. But GPU ballooned in price, CPU are hard to find, motherboards aren't coming down, and PSU are gambles now. My paycheck can't stretch no more. The government took it all, so I'll just sit and churn. I've been priced out of fun. My GTX is running dry. Battlefield can say goodbye. What happened to the common people? Why have we been left behind? It hardly seems fair. I work all day, still stuck here. The last cent in my pay packet is buying Jensen's 13th jacket. GPU ballooned in price, CPU are hard to find, motherboards aren't coming down, and PSU are gambles now. My paycheck can't stretch no more. The government took it all, so I'll just sit and churn. I've been priced out of fun. I'll just sit and churn. I've been priced out of fun. I've been priced out of fun. Priced out of fun.
I always shoot to kill. If it's crucial or G-skill, I'll always deal my blow to Patriot and more. But today I'm feeling something, a changing in the winds. A kit for $90 is now 176. The DDR is gone. AI took it all. Can we never catch a break? Can we never have cheap PCs? I'll show those fat cats something. Just give me one excuse. When the new day's dawning, brothers rise up with me. I always wait for deals. My suit is clean today. Black Friday coming up, but it seems darker still. I only wanna play a stupid game for 3 hours after work. I've worked so damn hard.
Samsung SK Hynix Devil comes in threes.
GPT and Sora are a rotten disease. DDR is gone. AI took it all. Can we never catch a break? Can we never have cheap PCs? I'll show those fat cats something. Just give me one excuse. When the new day's dawning, brothers rise up with me. The DDR is gone. AI took it all. The DDR is gone. AI took it all. Can we never catch a break? Can we never have cheap PCs? The DDR is gone. The DDR is gone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, freaking yeah. That needs to be higher up. Ugh. Back to Sunday streams. It is a Sunday. Oh, PC building then. Let's just do it. We've got one build. It is a Creator Workstation, actually, of all things. And I'm not really making any money. We've got Max in the chat. Good to see you. That's what we're doing today. We trained legs this morning. I'm absolutely knackered. Let's do it. So grab some parts. So it's a Creator Workstation. I think actually the 5070 Ti is perfect for that. 16 gigs of VRAM with decent performance. For most creative workloads, this is more than enough. Oh. And then we've got some other bits as well. What have we got? 265K CPU. Pretty nice. It's quite funny, like what the halo effect does to a product, though, because a few weeks ago, nobody would have wanted this. And suddenly, since this new series of Intel's got some good coverage, they just seem to think that all Intels are good now. But this hasn't changed in 3 weeks. It's just become more popular because of the halo effect. Interesting. Not often I do an Intel build, actually, so this will be a good one. We got my precious 64 gigabytes of RAM. This was the cheapest RAM that I could get for 64 gigabytes, so that's why I got it. For a Creator Workstation, don't really need like gaming super fast RAM. This just happened to be the one that was the best. It's 32 gigs CL40, 6400 megahertz. But Intel's got a pretty good memory controller, so it shouldn't be an issue. And I've been meaning to use this motherboard for a while. Bada bing, bada boom. The ASRock Live Mixer. Because it's got a nice audio chip on it. It's actually got a nice VRM. And overall, just pretty nice connectivity. So, pretty sweet. Now, I don't know if my mic is loud enough, so I'm going to move it up a bit. There we go, and move on to the next component. So with a Creator Workstation, usually the best way to do it is to use a dual SSD setup, or even a triple. So you've got an OS SSD here, you install all the apps and things on it, and then you'll actually have your project drive on a separate drive, this 2 terabyte Crucial T500. It's got a DRAM buffer, so it's pretty good for this kind of thing. Sometimes people will even have a third drive as a scratch drive, but I think that's probably a bit extra at this point. Power supply, good deal on these. Deepcool PN850D, so it's a gold 850 watt PCI 5.1 ATX 3.1 Dealy. Decent enough quality, get the job done, no problems. And the case will be Corsair 4000D, but I'm not getting that yet because it's absolutely massive. Hopefully the other camera works. Oh my God, both of my cameras work the first time. This is a first for the stream. All right, let's just crack on. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Sunday, a little bit later with the stream this time. What are you gonna do? And when the viewership picks up a little bit, I'll show you the my broken 5090. I'm laughing. It's like a laugh of incredulity rather than actually being funny, because it wasn't funny. Still in the process of getting that reimbursed. Oh my gosh. Well, there's that ASRock quality, boys. The M2 SSD thing has already come off. I think it's this kind of like slide and click type thing, so I'm not surprised. There was no problem with just the old school screw, but no, they like to change things for the sake of it, don't they? All these dang motherboard manufacturers. What else have we got in here? Some cables. What is that? It's a temperature sensor. We won't be using that. And some SATA plugs. I assume that's the Wi-Fi. Yeah, good. Okay. Got respawn. Nice, nice, Max. Yeah. No, you'll be all right with the full copper. You might need to go into the BIOS and change some of your power limits around in the PBO settings. So to make basically, you don't really want to be pulling more than 95 watts on that CPU cooler. Would be my advice. All right. Here's a nice looking ASRock board. Not too ostentatious. Looks good. Although for a creator board, you know, like 2.5 gig LAN, could they have gone for 5? Maybe. How many people actually have 5 GB LAN in their home setup? Basically none of them. So yeah, not too worried about that. Okay. So I guess first things first, M2 SSD, right? Let's do that. And we've already hit one roadblock because I don't have my teeny weeny screwdriver with me. I may not need it. Let's see. So it's just a basic sort of HMB buffered Patriot 500 GB dealie. This will get the job done. It's only for the OS drive, so it's not as critical as having a fast media drive. Ugh. I'll tell you, I'm not making much money on this PC because it came from my creator section on my website, and I forgot to change the prices with the RAM increase, so I'm probably making about £15 on this whole build. But we turn it into a live stream and we use it for content. That's the business way. The alternative is just cancel their order, but I thought that was a little bit harsh. So we went with it. Ugh. I don't remember what cooler we've got. I think it's a Thermalright dual tower thing. We'll get it in a minute. Oh, no, you'll be all right, Max. Yeah, we got two. We got this 2 TB T500, pretty nice drive for the secondary. So we're all good. All right, take that one off. Oh, it's actually toolless. That's pretty good. Although, yeah, okay. So I don't need to run off and get my little screwdriver. So it doesn't really matter which ones we put this in, does it? Because they're all going to be Gen 4, so we might as well just populate the lower ones. So we'll put our little Patriot in there. We'll open up the Crucial. Ugh. Skadoosh. Yeah, with a 5600, like just slap a little -10 all-core curve optimizer on it, and you're away really. And you could set your thermal limit as well to something like 84 or something. That'll just keep your chip safe in the long term. All right, 2 beautiful SSDs in place. Okay. Let's put this back on. Don't forget to peel. Don't forget to peel. M2 armor. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, you can't really do that too much with A520. You are correct. So I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, I wouldn't say if it works, just don't worry about it. Yeah, you won't be able to do any PBO stuff then with A520. I don't know how much you can do in Ryzen Master, but I wouldn't worry. I think it'll be fine. All right, memory. Who remembers this stuff? Who remembers this stuff? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Ugh. The only issue we're going to have with this is that they do have slightly tall heat spreaders on them. So we'll have to see how that plays in with the tower cooler that we're going to use. Clunk. Clunked in both sides. That was nice. That was real nice. Ugh. Close, damn you, close, box. Don't make me ask twice. Sweet. CPU, 265K. Now, as these open this way, don't they, as opposed to the other way that we get on AMD. Bada bing, bada boom. CPU. That's seated. And we'll go and grab the cooler. I forgot to bring that down at the start. It'll be a Thermalright dual tower dealie. You don't really like to put liquid coolers into creator builds just for the reliability aspect. Although my preference for this would be a triple fan liquid cooler, but you've got to build the PC to the usage case, not just what's theoretically best in general. We don't need thermal paste yet because it comes with the cooler, I believe. We'll soon see. I'm going to go and grab said cooler. How's the poll doing? Everyone's gone for the safe play on the RAM. I agree, the urine is definitely the best humour to expel for RAM. Don't worry about pads, just use paste. You're going to faff around and not get anywhere with pads. Feels like it's been ages since we've done a stream. Bada bing, bada boom. Oof. Oh, hell yeah. Look at that. Beautiful bit of machinery, that is. You wanted Chungus, you got Chungus. LGA 1700 must, I think 1700 has the same hole spacings as 1851, right? It sure looks like it. It's not white aesthetics, ruined. Let's just chuck it out. Get rid. All right, so it looks good. So we'll just take the little sticky boys off. Give me some of that sweet, sweet Intel mount. There we go. Beautiful. It's so good I could kiss it. Right. We need LGA 17 duty, because it's must be old stock where they didn't write the stuff on the bags. I imagine, Ghost, it was a matter of money, as is so often the case. And the other argument for A520 is that if you're buying AM4 now, there really is no point in buying like a good board, because you're not going to upgrade, are you? So depends when it was bought, the price at the time, you know, everyone's situation is different. And in terms of performance difference, it depends on the particular A520, but with a Ryzen 5, you may be looking at like a 5% performance difference, if that. So, yeah, but Ghost, you're talking about now. I imagine Max has probably had that for a while. It's just you're just overbuying there on your 5600. To be honest, it doesn't, like nowadays it doesn't matter. You know, back, you know, let's say you got a Ryzen 3600 or whatever, and then you got a cheap board, then yeah, you would have had a little bit more trouble upgrading. Should have fed this through before. But now that the socket is dead, it doesn't really matter as long as it works. Like, for instance, buying an A520 now on the AM5 seems a little bit silly in most cases, because you know, you don't have that upgrade chance, do you? So, yeah. And also, some people don't want to buy used. That's just how it goes. Would an X570 be better? Would a B550 be better? Well, yeah, but you know, we just live in the real. Especially, I think, because Max is an ITX as well, so that introduces even more cost to the equation. There's no way you get an ITX X570 board for that price. Yeah, I'd say, to be honest, I think the most risky used, it's got to be storage and power supply for used. Those are the most risky, in my opinion. Tend to really avoid those if possible. And then any 13th and 14th gen K CPU secondhand, you've got to be careful with as well. Most of the other parts will be pretty solid. Nowadays, back in the day on, you know, older Asus boards, you know, some Asus B450s used to go wrong all the time. 4th gen Intel Asus boards, actually most Intel Asus boards up until 12th gen, they all had a weird thing where they would just die after a while. Right, so brackets are on. Please tell me if... Yes, I've done it wrong. I'm stupid because I was trying to give advice in the chat and I wasn't concentrating, and I put the goddamn plates on the wrong way around. I looked at it and I thought, there's something wrong here. And we know. This has got some beefy power delivery on it though. I'm just looking at the MOSFETs on the side of this thing. It's got to be like a 12-phase VRM at least. Pretty sweet. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, for every low price option which was popular. That explains the prostitution habit. I'm going to... Is there a manual in there? There's not. We'll find out the hard way. Yeah, exactly. You do need... This is the thing with used, right? Is that people always say buy used. But often those people that tell you to buy used are YouTubers or somebody else that has other parts that they can test that part with. But if you're just buying it for yourself, you're in a tough position if something goes wrong because you don't really have the means to diagnose the problem. It's one of those things where there's a bit of a disconnect between the content creator and the audience. Unless you've got other parts on hand to test stuff, if something goes wrong, like you're kind of stuck. You know what habit I'm talking about, Max. I went on Google Street View to your address. I saw, let's just say, a few members of society that are generally frowned upon. You can't really repair a motherboard or a PSU. No, not usually. I mean, you know, if you're a board repair expert, you can. But most people are not board repair experts, are they? So, right, we'll try it. I just can't tell whether I've put that bracket the correct way round or not. But we'll, you know, in terms of should it be pointing out or not. Is there a manual? Oh, there is a manual. We'll just check before we smear a load of paste all over it. This looks right. I usually do this on AMD, so it's been a while. All right. I did it correctly. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Right, where did that paste go? Oh, there it is. I'm not trusting a repaired PSU. Not for me, thank you. GPU is usually pretty solid. That, you know, that either usually you'll be able to find the problems pretty quick with that. Oh, this is some thick thermal paste. Reminds me of your mum. Oh. Speaking of which, send her my regards. Now, does the Thermalright go with the text this way, or does it go with the text this way? I've never got a clear answer. The live mixer is kind of in this direction, so maybe it should go here. I think it's equidistant. Oh no, it's not equidistant. So actually, it must be the big end on the top. Otherwise, it pushes onto the GPU, right? So it must be that way. Bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Hopefully everybody's having just a wonderful Sunday. Is that latching or no? No. I remagnetized this screwdriver yesterday and now it's too sticky. Oh, listen to that crunch. You probably can't hear that. Ugh, that grind. You know, like when you put the AMD stock cooler on for the first time. It's that same sound. Ooh. All right. Let's put the fans on. So that fan is going to be sitting a bit high. I knew those heat spreaders would be trouble. I just don't know if it will fit in the case with the fan sticking up that much. Or whether I should just put it as a pull over here. Although that's not much better. What's that height difference? Let's have a look. So you could put it there and have... Oh, it's... Trying to decide the fan orientation here. Because that's the situation. The RAM is in the way. I think I'm going to have to do double pull, I think. But pull. So it goes whoosh, like that. Right to left. I think that's got to be the only way. Or you could go single pull, but I feel like it defeats the point of the dual cooler, doesn't it? This always happens with this cooler, in fairness, unless you get like the really low profile RAM. We'll go with double pull. Elevate it slightly off the VRM heatsink so that it doesn't rumble. It's actually not a very high cooler, so I think with our case we will have enough room. If not, then I'd have to go find some other RAM if I've got some. Trolling would be if I put them facing the opposite way. That would be pretty gnarly. Just have them both like pushing into this tower. I've seen that a few times actually. I can't see very well. I'm going to spin it around. Give it some double pull action. It's like me with your mum and your auntie on a Saturday night. Double pull. And cheaper than a hooker. Perfect. Okay. There we go. As long as you make it even, I think that's respectable. And then we'll just put the fans in. Bada bing, bada one. Bada bing, bada two. There we go. Marvelous. I don't think we'll need a rear exhaust now, because it would just be like there, wouldn't it? There'd be no gap in between this fan and the rear exhaust. We could put a top exhaust on, couldn't we? Probably do that. Great, so platform is complete. Let's take this little sticky off before I forget. Pretty nice looking functional unit so far. Just unbox the other bits, then we'll get the case and we'll get cracking. English is my capital of Great London. There's nothing great about London. Let me tell you that right now. But I think my dislike of London is mainly because it's not giant accessible. I'm 6'6" or 200 centimeters tall, and riding on any kind of underground like line does my head in. I'm constantly like touching the top. My head's touching the top of the tube train all the time. So just guys, cannot do it. Can't do London. I'm too tall for London. You're not allowed. I'm not allowed to agree with you, Max. London is a dump and hallowed. Gary. Yeah, I don't like London. I couldn't. So it's all right to like visit for a day, but it's gone downhill. Even like, I mean, oh, when did I? So I went a couple of years ago. I can't remember what for. Oh, for a concert and or gig, I should say. Concert sounds kind of like fruity, doesn't it? I went for a gig, man. But the last time I'd been to London was like 10 years before then. It was much nicer back then. Much cleaner. Less of a threatening atmosphere. Just getting a little bit of a yerba mate drink in, and then continuing this PC bulb. Ugh. As for you, Max, you need a bit of support with whatever problems you're dealing with. Whoosh. Your power cable with a UK plug, which is the best plug in the world. I will not hit anything different. This is by far the best mains plug. Yes, okay. Gary, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. It's just, I don't know. I think I just find it stressful living there. Ah. Bloomin' marvelous. Move that out of the way. So it's a non-modular unit. So this power supply I'd only really consider in a mid-tower build. If you're using a micro ATX or a ITX, or well, obviously not ITX, but a smaller chassis, this kind of power supply would be a nightmare. But in a mid-tower, this is functionally no different from a modular unit, is it really? So pretty sweet. I'm also cutting weight at the moment, so I'm in calorie restriction, which for me is 2,700. So I'm feeling the drag. Okay, move that. We'll just unbox this little GPU. They do still exist, although they are very steadily creeping up in price. They've sort of settled around the £800 mark here in the UK, these 5070 Ti's. Yeah, I don't know of any ITX power supplies that are fully wired, apart from those flex ones, but not the standard SFX. Yeah, they kind of have to be modular, don't they? Otherwise, they wouldn't really work. I've noticed that Palette used to give you a free mouse pad with your graphics card, and they've stopped doing that now. Obviously, that's too much into their margins on these 5070 Ti's now. These are just so reliable and good, man. Pallet Gaming Pro, workhorse, never had one break. Good cooling, good price. Just overall, I think these are absolute underrated bangers. Unoffensive, or inoffensive, I should say, decoration on the card, which is good because, you know, it's kind of timeless. I like it. Always liked palette graphics cards, apart from the Game Rock. The Game Rock ones are so ugly. I hate them. Always try to take care of your boxes if you can. Easier to sell it on later. Okay. I have to go get the case, which is next to me, but I need to unbox it. Yeah, I agree, Max. Yeah, they just don't advertise. But they're always one of the cheapest, so that's their way of advertising, I suppose. But I think they're great. They work really well. They're quiet. They don't have coil whine any different to any other brand. So pretty sweet. I have never had to claim on warranty with them, so I can't tell you what their warranty support is like. But that would be the caveat, obviously. Okay, right. Oh. Look at that. Beautiful camera shot, that. Just miles and miles of brown. Give me the brown. Baby, I need that brown. There will be relief from the brown very quickly. It's opening the box for the case. Ugh. Give me some. Oh, there's that Corsair logo. 4000D accessory box. Probably will need to zoom out anyway. Give it one of these. Oof. I should have just opened this off camera. There goes my back. All right. All right. All right, all time. Baby, of course, that 4000D. Give it one of these. What we like to seize. Oof. Does this bit pop off? I've never actually tried it on this case before. Oh yeah, look at that. It's even got like a bit of plastic inside it to take off. Does that sound come through the mic? Yeah, the little wobble board sound. Probably not. Sweet as. And then this is not the way I would recommend you to undo your case panels. It's for the benefit of the stream. God, that's tight. Go on. There we go. Ugh. Have some of that. Got that. Oh yeah. Okay. Ugh. I'll put the power supply in. Again, I do not recommend you do it with the computer this way round. Doing it for the benefit of you tools. Oh, no! My video feed! Oh, for Pete's sake. I just bumped it ever so slightly. Alright, hang on. Let's rescue this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do it with the other camera, and I don't want to do that. Yes. Oh, thank God. Oh. Alright, see you later, Max. Good one. Don't know how much longer we will be streaming for. It depends how long it takes me to finish this beauty. Marvellous. Blooming marvellous. Where's that CPU power? Give me the power. So we've got a dual CPU power situation. So we will free this appropriately. Ugh. Feed those CPU power cables through. Save us a bit of bother in a bit. And I should probably go and get an exhaust fan, which I'll try and put in the top, because I think on the rear it's going to be too tight with our current setup. You only for the CPU power cables. It just makes things easier, particularly with a tower cooler. It does make things easier. I'll show you in a minute. Just getting a fan. A little plain black fan. Okay. So I'm thinking we put this just like here and have it as a little top exhaust deal. I think that's the way to go here. It's currently on the 140 setting, so to move that. I wouldn't pre-route all the cables, only the CPU, because you'll just trap them underneath the motherboard probably. And so you're better off just doing the CPU ones. Oh, I need fan screws, don't I? Oh, did not come prepared. I reckon the 9900 X3D, I wouldn't get that. I wouldn't get either of those unless you have a production need. If it's just for gaming, just get one of the Ryzen 7 X3Ds. If you do have a production workload, then I would get the one with the more cores. We got a Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 for the cooler. Right. If you're doing rendering and gaming. So, well, the 7950X has more cores, doesn't it? So that's what I would go with. Unless you've mistyped and meant to write the 9950X 3D. Yeah. It doesn't really matter though. They're both going to give you very similar. If you're more weighted towards the games, then maybe the 9900X 3D. If you're more weighted towards the rendering, maybe the 79. I think, to be honest, I think the difference is going to be very academic unless you're a very high-end user. But you always have a trade-off with using those bigger core count Ryzen chips because of the intercore latency. I don't think that will go any further, so I'll take this one out. On thread rippers, yeah, if you have a production need, then they're good. But to be honest, outside of a proper professional workflow, it's just not needed, is it? The main benefit of the thread ripper is that it's a high-end desktop platform, so you can run loads more PCIe devices off it. A home user is probably not going to need a thread ripper for a workload in general, but it always depends on the workload. All right. People often really overbuy on the number of cores that they need for their CPU, quite a lot of the time, not all the time. Just my 2 cents on the situation. A bit dark, isn't it? Should we try and brighten things up a little bit? There we go. Yeah, well, to be honest, it was right at the back, so where it is now is fine. It's no big deal. All right, so I put the cables through first, and then what I do is I just sweep them like somewhere out the way. And then you get your motherboard platform. And you can just, oh, there's a cable loose there, just get rid of that one. You just sort of place it gently in the case. And you can see now that I've got a bit more room on the left side here to be able to plug those plugs in. Whereas if I'd fixed this in place, then fed the cables through, I'd have to get my hand into this tiny gap here and plug it in. Yeah, that video of, but who cares? I don't really care if Linus can run 5 Cyberpunks. I mean, I don't really understand why I should care. I mean, it's an impressive feat of engineering, maybe, but it's not something that I particularly will find relevant to anything that I do. So, cool showcase, no practical applicability. There we go. So those are both clicked in. So I've got a bit more space, and I can just move it over. Just pull the slack through from the back. And you're not having to dice your fingers up feeding cables through. I wouldn't pre-route every cable because you're just very likely to trap it under the motherboard if you do that. Not a technique that I'd usually advise. Been pretty smooth so far. This is where your long handle screwdriver earns its money. Cool. Now, before I forget to put it on, I'll put this little faceplate back on here. PSU's deep cool PN850D. Hello people, hello person. Welcome to the stream. Cool, so we could start feeding some cables through now. The one that I'm going to grab first to see if I can get it to go is this top fan. Because it's got a short cable, so I just want to ensure that I can get that plugged in because it's the tightest one, because I pinched it off a CPU cooler. There we go. And now we can start feeding through. Radeon cards are just NVIDIA cards in AMD packaging. I mean, they're not, are they? But I kind of get your point. You're saying that the brand doesn't matter, only the performance and what it does for you in terms of your workload or, you know, whatever you're doing with it. Which is true. You know, the brand doesn't matter. Which is why I always use graphics card brands like Palette and PNY and others, because there is functionally not any difference as long as it does the job that you want in a good way. All right. So I think usually I tend to do the sort of the front panel-y type ones first. So let's get those. It's quite a minimal front panel on this, so that's quite helpful. All right, so F panel. Track that through there. HD audio. That can go through bottom corner there. USB 3 goes along the side here, as does the USB-C. Cool. And then for power, we won't need those. We will need some others. We need this 24 pin that goes up there somewhere. And then we will need our 12 volt high power, or 12 volt 2x6 as it's known now with the new standard. And then we just pop that through, feed all that through, and we can sort the bulk out after. Good. I don't think there's going to be much else that goes down this right-hand side, so we could start to fix all that in place. I find the Velcro straps on the side of this case a little bit annoying, so I'm not going to use them. I'm just going to hook into them with a cable tie, and that'll be tidy enough. Just pull some of the slack down. The laptop, I got it a while ago. It's a 4070 and some kind of i5 11th or 12th gen, I think. I didn't really look too much into the spec. I just needed a laptop with an NVIDIA GPU for the NVENC, because I run the streams from it. So that was all I needed. Seems to be doing the job. If you hadn't said PNY, I'd have doxed you. Well, I'm already doxed. If people want to know who I am, they'll be able to find it very easily. Do you think Intel will make GPUs for the long term, or are they going to exit in a generation or two? Well, they seem to be doing very well with their workstation GPUs. So that might trickle down to a few gaming ones, but I don't know. I don't know how it could possibly be profitable for them to keep producing these desktop cards. So, you know, nobody knows these things, do they? I just don't see it going very well for them. Okay. Oh, all that good work of feeding those cables through, all in vain. So we've got a USB 3 on the side there. We've got a little side mounted one there. I think I'll use the top one, keep it out of the way. So I'll use the back connect panel bit there. That one I can't. This one I can as well. So sometimes I use the gaps in the back connect holes to feed the cables through, because it just looks a little bit neater as long as they fit without scraping. So we could put in our 24 pin. And then we can put in our USB 3.2 Gen 2.4x4.695.802.11.G, whatever they call this USB standard now. USB-C. Good. Fine. I think as a little quality of life thing, seeing as it's a Creator Workstation we're making, I'll put in the 2 SATA plugs for the customer, or at least one of them, maybe just one of them. Hopefully I can slip that down there as well. There we go. Nice. And we can do our front panel bits. Not too much to do here. Just realised this case doesn't come with any front fans, so I'll have to put those in. I thought this case did. Maybe it was just the RS version that has that. So we will go and get some in a mo. So you're looking pretty good so far. The only thing I need to do is I didn't realise the case doesn't have any front fans. So I'll just go and get some from my stock and we'll move right on. We're actually getting close to finishing this now. This is a lot quicker than my usual streams. I got him. I got him. There's some C12Cs thermalite. No, I've never heard of build cores. Ouch. But I'm quite good at visualizing what a PC looks like. I've built, I think, 900, close to 900 PCs at this point. So I've got quite good at visually spacing them out before buying the components. Interesting idea, though. Is it accurate? Pneumo transmicroscopic volcanionosis. Wow. I would not want to be that guy's lungs. Have you ever used merged fans? What do you mean by that? Merged fans? Never heard of that phrase before. This isn't going to be very interesting for you for a minute because I'm just going to very quickly swap these fans over. Well, I say swap, I mean add. It's a cool idea though, and if it is accurate, I might, if I could use it for my website, that might actually be a really good idea. People can like put the parts together and see what it's going to come out like. I could see that being popular. It has 3D mark as well. That's pretty cool. It's a nice idea. The problem with buying PCs as a whole as well is that you often actually don't know what it's going to look like until you get it. Which is why on my website, like I don't use renders. I use like actual photos. So you'll get a much more representative view than a render. But yeah, could be cool. Sounds like it's still in early stages. But the thing with the 3D mark is, I just don't care. I don't really care about a synthetic benchmark result. It just it means nothing to me. Because I don't build computers for people to run benchmarks on. And the games are so heterogeneous that like, you're not going to know what the performance is based on some synthetic benchmarks. Build quality emails and mobile. It sounds like are you the developer of this app? Sounds like it sounds like you're giving me a pitch deck. And it's all for the low price of $5.99 a month. It's even social. Share your build cores with friends. All right, fans are in. Nope, completely free for now. For now. Ah, Jungle Leopard case fans. I have some upstairs and I am going to use them in an upcoming build, yes. I've got the Deepcool CL6600 case and I'll be using them in that build. Pretty cool case idea, actually. So, yeah. We'll see if it stays free. A lot of things don't stay free forever. Okay, so let's just feed through these fan cables, which are all very nicely daisy chained, which helps. Daisy chaining. What a row concept. Don't even like flowers. All right. So now all we got to bloody do is put the bloody Gibbon Gomba's Bachunga in there, graphics card. Can't use PC Building Simulator. I don't need PC Building Simulator. That's just my life. Sweet. Right, let's get this GPU in. Celeron got banned from PC Building Simulator for offensive content. He tried to use a Ryzen 5 3400G. There's loads of space in there, it'd be fine. Okay, so GPU. It's time for you to go to your final resting place. I quite like installing the GPU with the case laid down like this. But not that it's necessary, it's just good because you can put the force down, can't you, when you're pushing it in place. He says, whilst being unable to actually seat the GPU properly. What's going on here? Why isn't it seating? Weird. Maybe the prongs have to go on the outside of this one. No, that doesn't seem right. I've never done that before. Oh. An office PC with a 1000-watt PSU. That's so funny. Yeah, pure black. Unfortunately, with these logos, these are actually NVIDIA that ask for these. You have to write it in a certain way on the components. Yeah, I read about this. It's a pure black card, yeah, but the NVIDIA say you have to have this on it somewhere, apparently. That's what I heard, anyway. It's got to be in this certain font. Maybe they could have done it a bit differently, I don't know. But... Ah, that felt better. That's in now. Good. All it took was a bit of distraction. Right, so we've got, yeah, so the spec in this one is Intel 7 265K, ASRock Z890 live mixer. The cooler is Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120. We've got 64 gigs of just whatever RAM, it doesn't really matter, but it's T-Force RAM, 6400. Got a 500 gig SSD, and then a 2 terabyte SSD, Crucial T500. And then we've got the palette 5070 Ti Gaming Pro. Nice clean black card, that's what you want. You'd put black marker on the logo, it wouldn't look good. I know what you mean, but your black marker won't be the same shade as this black. It will look really tacky. But I totally agree. If somebody just brought out a card that was just black with nothing, like just dark, right? That would look so much better. Okay, so we can hook up this cable next. 12 volt 2x6. I'm going to try and just spin it around a bit so it's undone. Obviously, don't forget to put it in firmly. So line it up, hear the click, and then I always give it an extra push for luck. And then anytime I move the PC, I will go back and give it another push for luck, just to be sure. I've never had one melt using this method, so either the problem isn't as bad as it seems, or I've just been lucky, or I've just been careful with making sure that anytime I move the PCs around that I will triple check that that's in place, including after I feed this cable bulk through in a second. Another push there, good. So we do have an anti-sag piece down here, which is quite hard to see. Yeah, the CPU cooler will be fine for this. In fact, an air cooler is ideal for production system actually, because it's much more reliable. It's quite hard actually to see that anti-sag. Should we turn the brightness up a bit? There we go. So the anti-sag piece is here. We'll just slide that up. Once it's straight, just tighten the end. Though it's still loose. Maybe there's something on the back that I need to tighten. Doesn't look like it. Maybe I'll probably have to hold it from the back. So I'm going to have to do that off cam. Yeah, that's right. So I had to hold the back. So you've got the anti-sag here, just giving it a little bit of gentle support. Always, when you put an anti-sag in, spin the fan to make sure that the fan can still spin without hitting the thing. It's very common for these built-in anti-sag systems to impact the fan, so just always give it a little spin, make sure it's not hitting, which it isn't, so that's good. Yeah, that's right. I just put my finger on the back of this anti-sag and then screwed it and it stayed in place. Great. Looking pretty good. So it just needs some cable management now. And we can test it. I mean, you can just test it before doing your cable management if you're doing your own builds at home. But for me, building lots of computers, it's just not worth doing the test run until I've actually finished everything. Simply because the number of times it fails is so low that I'd be wasting my time doing like benchtop tests and other things like that. I just put it together and then test it. Sometimes I'll come unstuck if a component doesn't work, but that's very rare. Overall, the time saved is worth it. So good. So we can take all of our excess cabling and pop it into the stuff zone. I don't think it's got reverse sag. I think it's fine, but it's because the PC's not stood upright. So once the PC stood upright, it will be fine. And thanks for the sub, Rolo. Oh, Rolo. That's a delicious chocolate for anybody that lives in the UK. Not that I could eat chocolate right now, because I'm on a diet. This cable cluster is very standard. This is fine. There's no problems. What's your expectation? That there are 0 cables? Not realistic. Cool. So we could probably start from the top. I'll try and keep that looking neat for the motherboard cable. So grab a little one of these little chunguses here. Quite a good idea that they put that horizontal cable tie point there for this exact reason, I'm guessing. Pretty good. And then you can use Velcro for the others. Now, because I am somewhat of a perfectionist on the streams, I will put another tie there. And this Velcro doesn't like to hold that way, so we'll give it one of these. Bury it instead. There we go. I could have done with putting another tie point there, really. Oh well. Now, in the interests of making it look nicer, and to ignore that Velcro and instead use a standard tie, you just feed it through to tidy that up. And we're basically done. There we go. Clean and tidy. I think it looks good. Except for the tangled cables at the bottom. I don't really know what your expectation is. There's going to be cables. That's what that area is for. It's not visible in the build. So I think we're looking real nice. we will commit the cardinal sin of putting the case panel back on before doing a test run, which I know will give a lot of bad mojo. Then we'll just ensure that the other side is clean. Sometimes things get moved around. So we'll just do a little bit of just touching up with some cables at the top here. Sweep those underneath where they're not seen. That one looks good. This one looks pretty good. Great. We're in a good position here, I think. And put one more tie onto this 12-volt 2x6. Keep it nice and tight. Obviously, if I was being more of an aesthetics bro, I would probably put some cable extensions on this instead of using the stock cables. But this is a production machine, so the aesthetics just need to look clean, but nothing too much. All right. And we're just going to put the dust covers and all that over there. We'll be good to go. Heck yeah. All right. PC build complete. So I'm just gonna go and grab a little portable monitor to test this out with. And then we might be ending the stream pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen. So just give me a minute. Go and get a portable screen. Oh, it took me a bloody while to find that, didn't it? We've got Philo, yes. Yeah, not too bad. It's nice weather. Building a little PC. We're nearly finished, actually. Right, we'll boot this thing. And then we'll do a proper, like, reveal of how it looks. It does look nice. Like, it's just pure black. The other benefit of having a Z890 board, which I didn't mention earlier, is that it has got Thunderbolt, which for some people is very helpful. Right, Oh, we've got power. That's a good start. Let's see if we get a picture. Turn on how you'll like. This table's actually massive. It's very big. It's like 1.8 meters wide. So it's currently memory training by the looks of things. Hey, there we go. Picture. There we go, booted. Okay. So I'll put this just here for a minute. And I just need to plug in the keyboard, mouse, etc. Can't remember if I've already preloaded the BIOS update onto this USB that I've got or not, so we'll see. Corner table went, no, corner table wouldn't work because I need to put the overhead camera behind the table. Right, so I need to stand up while I'm doing this, don't I? So let's just see if it will pick up the instant flash or not. I can't remember if I've done it. No, I don't think so. We'll see. I've got a lot of BIOS files on this USB. That's why it's taking so long. No, fine. All right. So I'll just download one, then we'll do a BIOS update. Right. Put that in there. Oh. I'm sure this is fascinating to you all. So why don't we actually just install Windows while waiting for that? But while I download the BIOS from the website, we can at least get Windows installed. Oh, bloomin' heck. Okay. And then just drop that ISO down. So definitely want to put this on the smaller SSD. So that's what we'll do. There we go. Just seems to take longer and longer. Every time I install Windows, it feels like it takes longer. So we'll do that. And whilst that is installing, we'll grab the Z890 BIOS. So Z890 live mixer. We'll just get the drivers and the BIOS update. Because the BIOS updates often have microcode updates now, which are useful to have. So it should be done. Why is ASRock's website taking 10 million years to load? And why does my laptop sound like it's going to take off? Is that ASRock website that it's just that intimidating to my PC? Okay, and then just get the BIOS. Global. Oh, fascinating part of the stream this is. Oh, looks like something's happening. That's good. That was actually a bit quicker than AMD installing Windows. Probably all those teeny tiny E-cores. Someone buy this man a faster USB drive. Hey, brother mine, it's a USB 3.2. I think the problem is little Mr. Microsoft. So I use Rufus USB stick to install Windows. You can do a clean offline account installation, much easier, fewer steps, maximum privacy. There is a guide on the channel if anyone wanted to see that. What's the thumbnail? Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just kind of thought it'd be funny. But then I don't know if that's a relevant meme anymore. I don't know. I don't know. What percent are we even at? Oh, 50. Jesus. Places to be. Come on. I'm supposed to be clearing out my garage today. Oh, there we go. Caught you off guard. Gamers only want one thing, and it's freaking disgusting. All right. So with the Rufus, you literally just put your username in, and then bam, you're just good to go. Far, 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 far easier. Anyway, what's going on with this USB? Oh my God, it's taken ages to copy those drivers over. We'll just get everything set up first, and then, yeah. The problem is my BIOS flash USB is only a USB 2, so that's why it's taking so long to write the BIOS onto it. Oh. Right, we're in. So I've got a little external USB enclosure with an SSD in it, which I use to do the drivers. So that's the easiest way. So on AMD driver, maybe the studio driver would be better. I don't know their workload, so I'll put on the regular driver for now. Don't really need any of this other stuff. TBH, so we'll just leave it. Harry, you've made it just in time. The build is complete, and we'll show the results in a second. In fairness, I didn't actually schedule the stream until this morning, so it's my own fault. I should have scheduled it yesterday. Give people a chance to see it. Specs, Intel 265K, Thermalright dual tower, cooler, 64 gigs RAM, Z890, ASRock, and a 5070 Ti palette with an 850 watt gold, which I'll show the specs of properly in a sec. Once this graphics driver is installed, then we'll transition. I will update the BIOS in a minute, just waiting for the BIOS file to be written to my USB. I don't think so, Harry. I quite like palettes. They're a bit more understated. So the Game Rock is ugly, I'll give you that. But the others I find quite good. And for this kind of build, which you'll see in a minute, it's just a dark build, so it kind of fits perfectly, actually. Are they cheaper? Yeah, usually they're the closest ones to MSRP or RRP. They are usually. Do you know, I haven't seen a Galax card in so long, actually. Not since the 30 series, actually. Maybe they just don't distribute them to Europe or UK anymore. All right then, so graphics is on. Now, another little tweak that I do like to do with my PCs is just go to Edit Power Plan. Just set these to something sensible to start with, but that's not the main thing. We'll go to choose what the power buttons do, change settings that aren't available, and then turn off the fast startup. And then you'd be less likely to get like data corruption and things like that when you turn your PC off. Because usually, if you don't do that, when you shut down your PC, it's like a soft shutdown. So yeah, by doing that, you'll do a proper shutdown each time. There's lots of other tweaks you can do in Windows, but I only do them if the customer pays extra, unfortunately. What's Palette's premium lineup? Do they have premium? I haven't seen them if they do. All right. Yeah, I'd never really liked the Galax, to be honest. I never thought they looked very good. Agree on that one. Okay. All right. We'll do a tour. PC tour coming up. Bear with me one moment. And I will remove from the tripod. And we'll swap camera angles. Hopefully this camera's still running. It is. All right. Roar. There we go. Oof. So just a nice plain black tower. I think that's pretty sweet. I'll have to turn off that motherboard RGB. It's got that kind of RGB that stays on even when the PC's off. So we'll disable that. But overall, it looks pretty clean, I think. We've got the little fan in the top there. We've got the double pull on the CPU cooler. Nice plain black palette Gaming Pro. And the Corsair 4000D RS. So in terms of components, CPU is Intel Ultra 7 265K. With the Creator Workstations, try not to use the KF versions so that you can keep the quick sync if you need it. Then you've got the cooling, gone for a tower cooler, which is better for these production systems because they're more reliable than liquid. It's a Peerless Assassin 120 by Thermalright. We've got 64 gigabytes T-Force Delta 6400 CL40. To be honest, with the Creator Workstations, you don't need this fast gaming RAM, so I just got the cheapest 64 gig that was available, which at the time was that one. Palette Gaming Pro RTX 5070 Ti, 16 gigs of VRAM and pretty good performance. Great stuff for a Creator Workstation. And then board-wise, under there we've got the ASRock Live Mixer Z890, which means you get the Thunderbolt ports, and it's got good audio codecs on it as well. Not codecs, you know, the chips, the little Realtek chips that you get on them are better with this one, so it'll be more stable for production workloads. And it's just in a nice sort of black shrouded style. I think it's pretty cool. And we just kitted out with a few Thermalright fans there, and then one in the top there as well. So yeah, pretty good. Right, I'll just put this on a tripod in a position where we can see the PC. It means moving a lot of stuff out of the way. Oh, and nearly falling over in the process. The stream wouldn't be the same if there wasn't like at least some incompetence at play, right? That's just part of it. Okay. There we go. So we will see how are we getting on with our update. So the files aren't copied over yet. So we'll just give that a minute and then we'll update the BIOS and away we go. I think it's come out nice, just a dark sort of shrouded thing. We'll have to do the fan profile tuning as well to get these running a little bit quieter. because the CPU fan's going full tilt at the moment. All right. This copying these BIOS files over to this USB is going to take bloody ages. So I think I might just call the stream there, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed and you're new, make sure you sub to the channel. We try and do these streams every couple of weeks. As long as I've got a build that would be suitable for the stream, then we'll do it anyway, because I'd only have to have built this regardless, right? So so we do it on a stream, just get everyone involved. We've got videos coming up. They're a little bit slow on the release on the full videos at the moment. That's just due to timing, working in the hospital a lot. So I'll try to increase the output, but it's not guaranteed. That's why. All right, team. Thank you for joining, as always. Good fun. I quite like a plain dark build, especially after building so much RGB and bright stuff. Just having one that's a bit more like understated and calm is pretty cool. So I'm going to sign out. Peace.